Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jump In, Play More. This is episode 2 of The Reckoning. I don't know.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare yourselves. If you don't listen fully, you're dead. You're dead. Your family's dead. I'm dead. Everyone's dead except Xbox. Xbox lives.
Forever.
Phil Spencer will stomp on your grave with Master Chief's balls.
Praise to be to our great Uncle Phil.
With me today is iChrisPanda and Foxxy Steve.
I'm Foxxy Steve.
So, we had a really good show.
Really good show.
We got some news to run through. We got some interesting tidbits that we want to focus on real quick. Of course, we got the Game Pass pick of the week, and of course, we're gonna end it off with the lovely Name That Character. It's everyone's favorite segment, and if it's not, it should be because I said it. So, Steve, why don't you tip us off with some news, man?
All right. Well, first up for news this week, this comes from IGN by way of, I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm very sorry, Amelia Zellner. Maybe I did it right. I'm pretty sure I did it right. Anyway, Raven Software becomes the first AAA developer in North America to unionize. I believe that happened last week with a vote of 28 QA testers voting yes to unionize. Of course, Raven Software is a developer of Call of Duty, amongst many developers.
Sledgehammer, Raven, and Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
I don't believe they have a fourth anymore.
It's yeah, those are the main. And then there's Toys for Bob and all those other people who got smushed off of every other project onto Call of Duty.
And fucking Treyarch.
It's Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Toys for Bob, Raven Software, Neversoft. All work on Call of Duty as of right now.
Jesus,
To
my
Blizzard.
my brain was like Ravensoft and Treyarch are the same company.
Nope.
They did something together. I think they worked.
I think Raven worked on.
This is gonna sound really obscure. I think they helped work with Black Ops 2 for Wii U.
Ooh.
I know. That's why I'm like. I think.
Well, I think they also work on. They work on Warzone now.
Oh, no wonder it sucks.
Damn. Anyway. Yeah, they are the first studio to unionize. It's a huge deal.
It is. It's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess impressive and needed, really. Unionization helps for better standards, better practices, equal pay rates, and to help people that don't get the proper needs in the field. Because obviously the QA testers are like the low end of the video game sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a game that's really bad, you have to blame the QA. But the problem is if they don't pay them enough to go ahead and do the resources and the time to actually check over the standards and practices for the video game, they're getting the short end of the stick. So you're getting a poor product, and then everybody gets blamed as a result.
Yeah, that's and one of the biggest issues really is things like crunch and unpaid overtime and stuff like that. You know, hopefully with the union coming into place, they can protect their workers against those kind of practices.
Yeah.
To tie into that, Phil Spencer is not going to get in the way of it. He is supporting the unionization going forward after Microsoft's acquisition goes through. Which I didn't expect any other response. Microsoft and Phil Spencer specifically is not tone deaf and knows how to handle this kind of stuff. Unlike I can't even remember his name right now, but the head of PlayStation with his whole controversial.
I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you. And that's not me being Xbox specific for the show. It's me just not being able to answer your question accordingly.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm having such a brain fart. Probably because it's headache. It's like Jim Ryan is the head of PlayStation and end of Sony. And yeah, he's just very tone deaf.
Gotcha.
We don't get that's a whole other can of worms. But Microsoft's handling things right, at least so far. So that's good. That's good. Hopefully other studios can kind of follow suit, and this really begins a wave of positivity that's needed. Because these people are really passionate, and these corporations take advantage of that passion and making them work to death on stuff.
Yeah, it's not just video games, it's the entertainment industry as a whole.
Yeah.
I know people that have been in the animated film industry, and they get taken advantage of with lower pay rates and say, you want to come work for us because we're insert X big studio and you want to get into it with
Yeah,
us.
we're that foot in the door.
Yeah, it's the same idea and same principle. It's how they got a lot of us GameStop employees at first. You like video games, don't you?
You like games, don't you? Well, come on.
I sure do, mister.
Oh, boy. There's management opportunities.
Come on in. You'll get plenty of money. Oh, boy. And all the games you can play. Oh, sweet Christmas. And then they get us in. And then next thing you know, we get the hammer and sickle.
Hammer and sickle. I've been eating beans every week for the last 3 years from working here. But I sure do love my free copy of Madden 10.
I hate not having money for rent, but I am so happy that I got MotorStorm 1 for free. Yay! Sir, it's 2022.
I can finally check out Chicken Shoot for the Wii.
Why are we only naming older games?
That was my era. That was my era.
I'm naming it as that's what happens for current employees.
Damn, they're still trying to make Chicken Shoot.
I know. They're like, well, sorry. But moving past that. There are rumors that EA is preparing to sell. Now, these are just rumors.
Yes, these are just rumors. This story comes from Darren Boythus at GameSpot. Quote, I'm not going to read the entire article. You can treat yourself to that at GameSpot and or Puck via Video Games Chronicle. Electronic Arts is reportedly pursuing a sale or a merger and has claimed that the video game publisher and developer has held talks with Disney, Apple, Amazon, and Comcast, NBC Universal over a possible deal. EA has been persistent in pursuing a sale and at one point looked like Comcast, which is a subsidiary of NBC Universal, would have merged with the company. Of course, nobody has said anything official about it. So your Comcast CEO Brian Roberts running the combined entity if that were to happen. So none of this has been confirmed. This is all rumor and speculation. EA has been doing a lot of moves recently in terms of publishing new titles and things like that. What do you think about that?
I feel like we're getting into the danger zone of chaos. Just because there is a weird likelihood in my head that if EA does want to sell, Xbox would be happy to take them under their wing. They already have a very strong joint business venture. If you have Game Pass, which we obviously recommend you pick up, EA is a part of that for free.
Yeah.
I don't even think EA is a part of the PlayStation Plus stuff.
No.
It's only Xbox.
Yeah.
So, it's detrimental when you look at there's already a pre-existing relationship with EA. People already know that EA is not really tied to one system specific. I don't think I can possibly think of a moment in time where, as of late, an EA game has come out and one system has got something exclusive. Or if there was, it's very minimal, and I don't remember what it is. Maybe early beta access for something. But.
Yeah, there hasn't. I can't think of anything. The last time EA did exclusive content, as far as I know, I think it was Star Wars Battlefront 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
and that was for PlayStation.
It wasn't anything good. So it's been
well,
just like the game.
Which does lead to my topic of the show of, do you think Microsoft should try to purchase EA? If EA is indeed for sale.
So with EA potentially being the rumor of for sale, I don't want to have Microsoft monopolize the industry and just take control of everything, because it feels like they're doing so. They're not technically doing so, but when you have one big name like Activision under your wing, you have all these other big game developers that gamers are aware of under your wing.
Yeah, Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda.
I'm not even talking about just that. I'm talking about the pre-existing people as well. Like you have your Turn 10, your Microsoft Game Studios people who are there already making pretty good games as well. And then you pick up EA. I feel like with the influence, EA under Microsoft's vision cone, because it doesn't seem like they are not at the liberty of controlling everything and not willing to play ball with the other companies. They're willing to let Activision and Blizzard play ball with Sony and Nintendo. They're willing, if they were willing to have EA or purchase EA, they'd be willing to do the same. It's irresponsible to take control and not let them play to other platforms, because that's losing out on potential money avenues. Instead of trying to force people to buy systems, you're losing out on people buying video games as a whole.
True.
So I don't know.
I think, given what they've said before, that they're not done looking at studios to buy. They already have this pre-existing relationship with EA Play, being a part of Game Pass. I think if they did, it would definitely ruffle some feathers. it
would piss a lot of people off.
It would piss people off. Me personally, I don't know that I would mind too much, given the way EA has been ran in the last few years with a lot of projects.
Yeah.
And you look at how BioWare was ran, and
a lot of projects.
And that was with EA's.
A lot of companies.
Yeah.
Not even just the games, and just the way some of these studios, like, you remember Criterion? That's the movie thing. Criterion?
The Criterion. The collection, yeah.
The collection of cinematic masterpieces.
Oh, yeah, but
only on Xbox.
Criterion.
Like, they were supposed to come out with a game God knows how long ago.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And there has not been a single thing since they showed off, hey, we're working on something. Don't
they just work on Madden? No, not.
That was like 7 years ago.
The studio that works on Madden is Tiburon works on.
Yeah, Tiburon.
Making Madden now. They kind of shit the bed with all their Star Wars properties. They shit the bed with overseeing BioWare. BioWare shit their own bed, and then EA also shit it because they were supposed to be overseeing this. And so, Anthem bombing and Andromeda bombing, and
Yeah, and I don't know the sales of the Mass Effect trilogy, but to be honest, I don't think it did amazing either, because I feel like people that like Mass Effect bought Mass Effect. But there was no marketing really for the trilogy.
Oh, the Legendary. I mean, there was some hype for it, but I don't know
there
how
was
many
hype for it, but it wasn't like there was no incentivization for people to want to go out and buy it. It really struck a chord because obviously we're playing on PC, and you have two different ways to play this singular game. You can play it through EA's launcher, which is Origin, or you can play it through Steam. All right, and I've seen it on sale through Origin. But I've seen it on sale through Steam, but not the same way. Like I think Humble Bundle had the game for like $10 through Origin. Steam, it was still $30 at the cheapest. And it's just like, that's really hindering because people want the Steam version. I don't think people understand. It's like, I don't think many people have any gripes with EA's launcher as much anymore.
The new launcher is fine. The old EA Origin was ass.
Yeah,
it was terrible. It ran poorly. It was laid out poorly. I did not like the way it throttled your download speeds was terrible. I did not care for it at all. The new EA Play launcher, I think it's still in beta to this day, but it's still like leaps and bounds better than what it used to be.
Yeah, and when you're doing Xbox Game Pass, it's forcing you to use that one, which is fine because it works better.
Yeah.
But it's like people want to play Mass Effect, you have two choices. And to be honest with you, the people I know that love Mass Effect, I know a lot of people who love that series, you yourself included.
It's my favorite. It's probably my favorite series of all time.
You have not played enough Bugsnax.
I haven't played any Bugsnax. I need to. It's on Game Pass.
But I know so many people that have played it and they're like, we're going to get it day one, day and date. And they did not. Nobody did. It's been on sale. Nobody I know has picked it up. Yeah. I think Matt is one of the close people I know. Has Matt picked it up? Bert got it. And that's it. Yeah. I don't know anybody else who has gotten it.
I have not gotten it. But you know why I haven't gotten it though? It's on Game Pass. And should this actually happen, it would stay on Game Pass. And that's probably a good place for it to be. And to be honest, when most people think Mass Effect, they also think Xbox. When most people think KOTOR, they think Xbox. Yeah. When most people think Dragon Age, they think Dragon Age. There's a KOTOR remake coming from the ground up. That's confirmed already. There's a lot of things happening. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, it happens, Microsoft announces they've purchased it, Phil Spencer comes out with a briefcase of money, we just used this to buy EA, shuts it, okay, and then, you know what I'm saying? What does a Microsoft-owned EA look like? What would you want to see out of that? Should that happen?
That Daddy.
It's a big question. It's a big open-ended kind of question. And we can go with, any. Do you want to see them kind of bring any franchises back? Would you want to see any franchises that are generally owned and made by EA, made by a different dev?
Okay, so you probably ain't about to talk for a little bit. I'm just letting you well aware and know this.
Hey, no, you have the floor.
Okay, so Microsoft does buy EA. They buy EA. First thing they do, okay, we have got to revise Battlefield. This is the smart business decision. Right now, your newest Battlefield entry is tanking. People aren't happy with it. We're gonna keep it modern. I'm gonna have you guys work on Battlefield 5. We're already announced we're working on it. It's normal. It's not the future stuff. And you guys are going to have rigorous beta testing to make sure this game operates to people's expectations. And they're gonna have it a traditional Battlefield gameplay thing. And we're gonna get right back to what people love for Battlefield. They're gonna say, you know what, put a single player in. It doesn't have to be amazing, it just has to be in it. Because people just want something. For the love of God, people just want something. And I'm not one of them, but I know the mass community of people who do.
Okay, not to cut you off, but to bounce off of you, crazy idea. What if the people who develop Battlefield are under the same roof as the people who make Call of Duty? What if they brought over one of those other support studios from making Call of Duty? Let's say they took a Treyarch or a Raven or a Neversoft, brought them over to help DICE make Battlefield.
Crazier idea. They make it Battlefield 5 ... That's right, colon, because it's gotta have a name next to it. Battlefield 5 Medal of Honor.
Oh shit! Oh man!
So you have the normal Battlefield 5 experience, the normal Battlefield experience, where it's like, here's your multiplayer, massive teams,
and then you take Medal of Honor,
and you have the Medal of Honor franchise be like,
that's your single player campaign. It's Medal of Honor inside of Battlefield.
Exactly.
I got fucking goosebumps.
Two birds, one stone.
I just got goosebumps. Dude.
Two birds. Cow.
Because that franchise has been dead since 360.
Yeah, and the first Medal of Honor, people were excited for it. It didn't translate as well. The second one, people liked it, but it didn't sell well.
Nope, and it was
it was still like a 7.5, 8 game, but it was like way better than the other one.
It was better than the other one. Both packages were kind of thin.
They were.
The multiplayer suites were thin.
The single player was okay at best.
Yeah.
But it was an attempt at revitalizing the franchise. And they just kind of like gave up because the second one didn't do numbers.
Yeah.
And they didn't give it a chance to do numbers. They didn't promote it well. They just were like, well, people like the first one. People better buy Warfighter. And they didn't. They didn't promote it. They didn't do any of the smart business decisions to do advertising. And it just
kind of came out and went. And that was it. It's like they sent it out to die and it was gone.
It was really bad.
Yep.
But that's the big focus. We got that. Okay. The sports stuff, I don't know how to tweak that. I can't. The best thing I can say is, you know what? I want them to bring back NBA Live. I feel like NBA Live 19 was a really great basketball game that a lot of people just don't give enough credit to, because 2K is such a dominant basketball franchise that I feel like that could be a hidden gem for EA.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Madden's doing well. FIFA's doing well. NHL's doing well.
Well, FIFA is not going to be called FIFA anymore.
That's right. So it's just going to be EA Sports Soccer.
What's it called? I think they have another name for it. Oh, I don't remember what it's called at
Footy.
this point. EA Sports Footy.
EA Sports Footy.
And it has its ups and downs. I feel like if it's under the umbrella of Microsoft, and we all know Microsoft has all this money, then they don't need to do an annualized franchise.
They don't need to. They never need to.
They could just make it a live service, like it probably should have been by now.
They might try to talk them into it.
And
over time.
And college football is still coming at some point.
And college football is still coming, which could lead potentially to college basketball as well. So the sports thing, that's kind of okay. It's not great, but you know what? People are willing to pay for it, willing to play it. It's not that terrible. No, none of them as of late have actually gotten terrible things. The only thing that they need to do is, I say, bring back NBA Live. 19 was a good entry. Mm-hmm. I think if they build off of that groundwork, people will probably like it a lot, because I know a lot of basketball people who play 2K are in desperate need of something else, because it's microtransaction city for that game, and they just want a new coat of paint, from somewhere, and they're willing to try anything.
Okay, to dovetail from that, revitalize the EA big label then, and
see, you're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun.
Whoa!
Because not only is Live coming back, you got to bring back Fight Night.
Fight Night. Okay.
You got to bring back boxing. I mean, right now the boxing is starting to slowly build up. People like the UFC games, but none of them have actually had a lot of like behind them, you know?
Yeah, the last one kind of came and went.
It came and went. People are still wanting Fight Night. They're still talking about Fight Night Champion. Nobody has ever said, I am just a huge UFC 4 fan. I've played UFC 4, and it's okay. It's not a bad game, but to be honest with you, THQ did UFC way better than EA does UFC. It's UFC, I feel like, needs to be made into a sim-like experience with an arcade-like design.
Okay.
And THQ kind of found like the fine line between that, where this one is trying to be really sim-heavy and the mechanics are overlapping each other and it's just a little bit too much. Boxing, move forward, punch a motherfucker in the face. It's really simple. It's really simple. You got your weaves and your blocks, and you know what? It's not fail. People loved Champion Story. They had Create a Boxer, and people were able to upload boxers. Tons of boxers from the current roster at the time to legends of the past. You could literally come out with Champion 2, just have the same idea for like everything except for the story, and make a new story, and people will eat the crap out of it. And they just need to do that. And people want that. I think the UFC franchise is something they should let somebody else have. It is not something I think EA needs. Give Fight Night a chance again, and I guarantee the numbers will come back.
All right.
And that's where we lead into EA Sports Big Making.
Oh, shit.
Because for the love of all that is holy, there are a bazillion franchises under that label that need to return.
Like, where's our SSX? Where's our NBA Street? Where's our NFL Street? Our FIFA Street?
There's Freestyle, which is the motocross. There is, oh man, this is a really deep cut. It was a rally racing one that was only on PS2. I think it was called Shocks.
Oh wow, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's very early.
Nothing about that.
It's like SSX1 territory.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like all those games have a very big place in gamers' hearts. Have a very substantial place in people's hearts in the past. And I know that the last NBA Street that came out, Homecoming, was fun at first, wasn't well received long after. People are big fans of NBA Street Volume 2 and even NBA Street Volume 3 to some degree. NFL Street, I think they just kind of flubbed on NFL Tour, which wasn't technically NFL Street, but it was like the grandchild of the series, because NFL Street 2 was the last one that was multi-platform. 3 was on PS2 only for some reason, and that one was very mixedly received as well. And NFL Tour just kind of dumbed down everything, and nobody liked it. And then there's SSX. SSX went through several iterations. 1, Tricky. 3, On Tour. Blur. And then the SSX reboot.
Gritty.
Which people really liked. It was received very well. I don't know how good it did on sales off the top of my head, but I know a lot of people did play it. I know it did get some traction and people were big fans of it. But then nobody said anything about SSX. Like, the game was well received. To my knowledge, it didn't do bad in sales. And it was just gone. And people want it back.
Yeah.
And then those games need to come back. FIFA Street had up to FIFA Street 3, which was on 360. No, I'm sorry. 4 FIFA Streets. They had FIFA Street 3, which was the numerical entry. And then they had a 4th FIFA Street, which was just called FIFA Street. That had a different control style and a different look, which wasn't as wacky and zany. It was a little more grounded.
I remember that. Yeah, okay.
And I don't remember if people liked that one too much. It was EA trying to, like... The problem is, sometimes when a product or franchise is doing really well, people try to think, how do we pivot away from it and see if people will still like it? And they pivot just a little too hard. Instead of doing a slight pivot where you peek your nose through the door to kind of get a taste of the soup, you take a fucking whole head dive into this French onion while you sitting here with your goddamn cheddar broccoli soup.
I'm just hungry now.
It's like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to mix that powerful a flavor with one another. and that's where people get upset at. So that's one of the biggest things I'd bring back. And guess what? There's even more. EA needs to give Criterion some work. Criterion Studios. I don't know why I keep saying Criterion. Criterion Studios. They need to give them work. Paradise was actually very well received. On initial review, people liked it. I think it's not bad. Obviously, 3 and Revenge are the ones I care to play most.
I want just a remake of Burnout 3.
I'm not. I want remakes. Obviously, I feel like I want remakes of these games. Like, I'd love to play a modernized version of the older style NBA Street Volume 2, Volume 3, NFL Street 1 and 2. I would love those games to be redone, even FIFA Street 1 and 2. But the problem is licensing with faces and soundtracks are.
That's a bag of worms.
And the same thing kind of persists with Burnout, not with cars, but for the soundtrack licensing. And I guess the DJ, I think, was another person. But I think they got him for Paradise, so he might be easy.
He was like the same guy in like every EA big game.
Yeah. And he was there, so it's like, okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to say we need a traditional style Burnout, because I like the open world aspect of Paradise. I don't like the way the driving was laid out. How you had to always follow like the signs. Just if you're going into a race, just give me like the weird barriers. Just do that. It's fine. You can have me drive from point to point. That's perfectly fine. But don't give me I have to look at the signs above me.
Man, Paradise just didn't hit for me. And then on top of that, Most Wanted, which was from the same devs,
didn't do it either.
Yeah.
No.
It was pretty much the same
Most Wanted
kind of
was
game.
trying to do the same thing. And it was
Yeah.
like, you guys can't keep giving your big names these remakes and ideas that people are just not a fan of.
To be fair, Need for Speed hasn't hit in...
Since Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, granted, the last one is pretty good.
What was it, Rivals?
No,
Heat.
Heat's pretty good.
Heat was fun.
Heat's
I
okay.
actually didn't hate Heat.
No. I think that's definitely a kind of upward trajectory in terms of quality.
Yeah, it's like a 7.5, maybe even an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's really hard to do a racing game when things like Forza Horizon exist.
Yeah.
So it's like you just got to take what you can get. So you got your Burnout game coming out. We need at least a new Burnout. Have somebody see about doing some remakes. Obviously, if you're through Microsoft, give us the ability to put these on backwards compatibility at the very least.
Yeah,
because I think like Burnout 3 isn't. Burnout Revenge is backwards compatible, but it's not on the EA Play stuff.
I think Burnout 3 is.
I don't remember. It might be. I just don't remember. I'd have to pop it into the Xbox.
Yeah, I think it even got a resolution bump. I think. I could be talking clean out of my ass. I have to double check.
The Need for Speed franchise, I feel like we said, after Heat, I feel like they're on an upward trajectory. They haven't done anything in a while, which is fine. I actually like it when they take a good amount of time between Need for Speed, because we don't need it. Hot Pursuit was the remastered, was like the last thing, and I don't even count that as an entry. I just count that as, you know what, they were like, we just need something to do, and
up-res it, put it out.
And it wasn't a bad idea. Now I have one more thing. Well, actually, I have 2 more things. Star Wars.
This is the press conference. This is we're almost done. We're getting close to the end of the conference, right? And we got that one more.
We got some things. So Star Wars. Bye.
No more.
For the love of God, I can't be any more frank with you, EA. I love you guys. You guys make games that I do play. We give you shit, but I do like EA's product. I think Star Wars is. It ain't hitting for you. It just hasn't.
They shit the bed too many times on it.
I think Fallen Order was a valiant attempt, and people do like it, but...
There is a sequel coming out,
confirmed. Man, I'm telling you, people really wanted a very traditionalized Battlefront, and you guys somehow fucked that up. And I don't... And what's worse is, you know what? All they had to do was just make an HD version of the same thing. And they just didn't. They kept trying to make it like Battlefield with Star Wars.
Yeah, they were too busy trying to monetize it.
And that too.
And didn't have that secret sauce to make that actually fun or engaging. Just predatory, and it was obvious.
It's very obvious when you play it.
So
Star Wars, I'd give it a pass unless you're... I mean, obviously established brands like Fallen Order, KOTOR, let them do their thing. But I think it's time to give some other people a chance to do it. So that's up to Lucas.
Yeah, which there are other devs making other Star Wars games now.
Yeah,
it's not
EA
just
should
EA.
just not be making as many.
Yeah, they don't have the exclusivity anymore. I'm pretty sure it's expired now.
I don't believe so either. And my final request: Plants vs. No, okay, it's not Plants vs. Zombies. I don't even know how well that franchise is doing.
No,
They came out with not Garden Warfare. It was one after that. There Goes the Neighborhood.
They did Garden Warfare too.
I know, but there's one after that.
Oh,
It's called There Goes the Neighborhood.
well, hell.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same type of game. I don't know if they do well. Apparently, they got 3 of them, so it did something. People liked it. They aren't the terrible game. They're there. What other EA branded thing have I not covered? I mean, there's BioWare.
Remember Jade Empire.
I really would like them to bring Jade, especially if they're working with Microsoft. Just make remaster Jade Empire.
Like Microsoft would then have
see how that goes, and then see if they can make something Jade Empire adjacent. That would be my best, logically business decision for that. And finally, Microsoft got the money, EA's got the name. Are you ready to play? Because goddamn it, Def Jam, we've been waiting.
I was wondering if you're going to mention Def
I have
Jam.
been so sick. It's because somebody mentioned this. It was a G4. I don't know if you saw it. It was through XPlay. They did a kind of like a vignette or like a video documentary of Def Jam and why people love Def Jam so much. And they were talking about Vendetta and how people love Vendetta. And Austin Creed was saying it's his favorite wrestling game. Vendetta is a wrestling game.
Yeah, that's a wrestling game. Absolutely.
It has the hip hop flavor, the hip hop style, all narrowed into its subterfuge of a video game down to its core. But it is a wrestling game. It's a wrestling game, and that's why Vendetta is fondly remembered. And it's still good. It still holds up. It looks a little outdated, obviously, but people loved it. They took a chance on it. It worked. I just found this out. Apparently, a year later, Fight for New York comes out. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was that short.
Oh, wow.
I was like, really? I thought that game took like 3 years.
That's a quick turnaround.
No, it was extremely, and it's using the same graphics engine.
Yeah.
They found a way to make it look even better. So Fight for New York is not a wrestling game, but it has wrestling stuff in it. It is a fighting game, and people love it to this day. It has a tournament scene based out in Florida, and I'm sure there's probably local tournament scenes everywhere else for this game that still want to support it. There is so much love and support and appreciation for this game specifically, and it has so much love and appreciation built into it from the hip-hop scene, the move sets, the amount of variety you have in the single player. Some argue that is probably the best single-player experience for a fighting game, and I would not be hard-pressed to deny them at all, because it is good. It is fantastic. It rivals Mortal Kombat and Injustice. It is that good. Okay. That, coupled with the 50-plus people in it, from rappers to original people to people close to the rap community like Danny Trejo and Henry Rollins, like, holy crap, this game is gigantic. And then Def Jam icons exist.
We ain't gotta talk about that.
That game literally killed them because they got rid of Aki. They put on the people who made Fight Night, and they got rid of everything that made the previous game what it was, and said, we're gonna try something different. And some of the ideas were cool. Fighting to the music is not a bad idea conceptually. It's kind of an interesting idea.
It's just the execution.
The execution of everything is really sloppy. It's not fun. There's no health bars. You have to actually manually turn that on. And even still, it's just like, I don't get what I'm doing. Why am I here?
Why am I doing this? I could be playing rugby.
Yeah, and I could be playing rugby.
This is a random thing.
And the franchise was killed, right? The franchise has been dead. But Def Jam keeps, every so often, I feel like Def Jam will be like, we're losing interactions on social media. Put up a post saying, what about Def Jam versus the world? And they'll put up like Logic, and they'll put up like Eminem and 50 Cent. And be like, what y'all think of that? Maybe we should do a Def Jam game, right? And people are freaking out. Oh my God, Def Jam talked about it.
Imagine Bad Bunny in there doing luchador moves.
I'd be ecstatic. I'd be fucking ecstatic. There's so many things.
Imagine getting to punch Logan Paul in the face in another game.
Okay, I don't need Logan Paul.
Imagine a game where it's only Logan and Paul and Jake Paul, and you only play as those two.
I think I'm good. But it's like, people want this game series to come back, and they want it in that style. The problem is now they have to communicate with this Japanese developer in Aki, who at the time did No Mercy, and I think from what I saw through the XPlay thing, it was a very weird discussion on how to make it work. And Aki was just kind of took the reins for a good chunk of it. And they were just like, all right. And they let them do their thing. And then they came back and they were like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what gives me hope for this AEW game, because it's Aki. So hopefully, well, it's Aki and Yuke's. I don't know what that looks like, but anyway.
But here's the hoping that eventually we can get another Def Jam. Whether this deal goes through or not, I feel like that's what people want. That's what people want.
Yeah, where there's this EA on their own putting out another game.
Yeah,
you know,
and it'll sell. It'll sell.
I think at this point, yeah, definitely.
Especially if you want to be honest. Especially now that I think back then was the glory days of hip hop. To be honest, I think that time period was like you had your gangster rap, you had your party rap, you had your historical rap.
You know, we say
everybody
that
like that.
old.
A little bit, but here's my reasoning now. Right now, they could do it, and it would be amazing because hip hop is at its highest peak. I think the glory days was back in like the early 2000s, but its peak is right now. Hip hop is on a global level. People love hip hop. It's basically pop now. It doesn't matter your origin now. You can get into hip hop. It doesn't matter your color. You can get into hip hop. It is insane to me. So I feel like now if they were to put it out again, it would probably correlate with more people because they could be like, oh man, I really like this genre of music, and I like the idea of having what would happen if my Nas X were to fight Trippie Redd.
I don't even know who that is.
See,
you just made that up.
I didn't. What would happen if I were to have Lil Pump versus Gucci Mane?
I know those two.
Yeah, it's like what would happen? I don't think they would correlate into the game at all right now, but it's just like that's the general idea, and I feel like that's what could get them to the next level. But obviously, they can't fuck it up.
The hype, though.
They can't fuck it up.
No,
And that is the end of my briefing.
I mean, hey,
I need some water.
Hey, I'm happy ending it right there on that topic. You've covered the gamut. That I don't need to add anything else to that. I'm happy with where you left that at. If it does happen, which at this point, crazier things have already happened. So, unless it's an American company, I don't know. Unless like Sony America were to, no, that'd be crazy.
No, Sony doesn't have Game Pass.
They don't. This PlayStation Plus structure. Every week there's some new catastrophe with PlayStation Plus in this new structure. Like now they're saying. So you can't stack your memberships, right? And then there's another thing after that now where what was it? It was some other anti-consumer thing with people who are pre-existing members, certain things not carrying over. I have to look into it maybe for next time because it's just an interesting thing. You just can't compare it to something like Game Pass. It's just not. It's not fair. It's not even fair to do it. It's not even fair to compare it. Very different services.
But what we can compare to Game Pass is the objectively newest segment, Game Pass Pick of the Week.
Game Pass Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. That was 2 P's in there at the time.
Pick of the Week. So Mr. Foxxy Steve, what is your Game Pass Pick of the Week?
Well, I know last week I picked Psychonauts 2. I haven't gotten a chance to get back to it yet, but I do want to play it a lot more. This week, I'm going to pick a game that I actually started playing last year on Game Pass. Because I was like, what the hell, why not? Dragon Quest. I almost want to say age, like no. Dragon Quest 11. Echoes of an Elusive Age S Definitive Edition.
I'm surprised you wanted to go and say the entire name.
Because I'm a professional, goddammit.
I'm like, he could have just said Dragon Quest. And
no,
like,
because it is that specific version that's on Game Pass with all the content. Apparently, the only real downside is that it's the Switch version of the game. So if you are really into graphical fidelity, you're gonna be missing out on some of that with it being that upscaled version. But it's a stylized game. It's got cartoonish kind of cel-shaded kind of graphics. Like I think it still looks pretty. Runs great. It doesn't revolutionize the JRPG. Okay, It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but as I said, it's a very nice wheel. Like they take a lot of the tedium out of a lot of JRPGs, like being able to like craft weapons and stuff like that, and upgrade weapons. You have your little portable, you have a portable like blacksmith thing with you, and you can just anywhere you go, you can just sit down, upgrade your weapons, do what you want. It's really quick. It's a little mini game involved in it, and you're done. It's really easy to compare stats and stuff like that. I mean, they just really refined a lot of the stuff I usually find annoying in JRPGs to a point where I can just focus on playing the game, looking at the story, making my characters better. And the story is what it is so far anyway. I'm about 30 hours in.
The story is what it is. Here, play this story-based game.
I mean, it's your classic. You're the hero, and you're finding all these interesting characters to go do stuff. It's not like boring or anything like that, at least so far. But I think it kind of takes a bit of a backseat to just how fun actually playing the game is. You get into a groove in it, and you just keep going. And the music is just phenomenal. The music is incredible in that game.
Cool.
That's my pick.
Well,
before it leaves Game Pass, play it.
My Game Pass pick of the week is something that I'm hoping people who listen to this have played. It is Hades. I love Hades. I have played it before, and I just wanted to play more of it. I was just like, I haven't beaten Hades. Yes, I know. And I was just like...
We both played it, and I have not beaten it.
I have like 15 or 20 hours, and I just haven't beaten it. I just get screwed right near the end of it. It happens, but the game is so fun. The replayability, the characters, the art style, the music, everything about this game is damn near one of the best roguelike games you could ever play. I highly encourage people to give this game a shot, because once you start and once you understand how addictive this game is, from its variety of weapons to its leveling up skills to the ability to talk to several people in the underbelly to understand why you want to escape Hades' grasp.
I had like a little accent there.
Yeah, I don't know why I said it. Hades' grasp.
It's like you're sounding like the people in Hades.
I know. I started hearing the music in my head.
Good music too.
It started hitting my head, and I was like, Father, why? I can't believe you've wanted me to leave all these times.
You're not leaving this place, child.
Boy.
Boy.
You think I'll let you leave to see that whore mother you have? It's very along those lines, and it's like, I'll get out of here, Father. I'll show you, and then you die, and then you come back, it's like, God damn it, I didn't get out.
It didn't work out this time, buddy.
And he's like, I see you're back. Watch me do my paperwork, you piece of shit. And then you pet your doggo, Cerberus, and you gotta figure out which head to pet, because, there's 3 of them, so I feel bad, because 2 of them ain't getting the love, but 1 of them is, so I mean...
And that seems to be enough, so...
It seems to be enough, and then they get, like, meat. It's like, here you go. It's like, alright. And they get belly rubs. It's a big dog. Cerberus, best dog. So, yeah, I really recommend Hades. I consistently recommend Hades. Even as not a Game Pass pick of the week, I feel like it's going to be that Game Pass game that... I don't know how long it's going to be there. Obviously, some of these games, we don't know how long they'll be there.
If it's not first party, there's no way to know when it will come or go. So.
Yeah, but I do think that people who will play it may even buy it, because it is so damn good.
I mean, that's the effect Game Pass has on me with Dragon. I keep on saying, I want to say, hey, Dragon Quest. Like, I know that when everything leaves Game Pass, I'm gonna buy it, because I can't wait to go back to that game at some point and play it.
Yeah, and luckily we always have more games to talk of, because there's so many games on Game Pass.
It is the best deal in gaming.
And, it's a great time. And I think that about does it for our show, minus everybody's favorite part of the week. Yeah, I have a really busted horn.
You gotta fix that thing.
It's like a dying cat.
Guess that character, right?
Guess that character. We're gonna put a minute on my clock here, and Steve is going to guess a video game character, which I'm just thinking of now. Oh yeah, I cut it real close to the wire, but this one I got in my head. So, are you ready?
I'm ready as I'm ever gonna be.
And begin.
Is it an Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
Do they wear a hat?
No.
Is this a male protagonist?
No.
Okay, so female protagonist. Is this a shooter?
Yes.
Has there been a game released in the last 5 years?
Yes.
You said it is an Xbox exclusive?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is it a third-person shooter?
Nope.
Okay. So it's a first-person shooter. Oh boy. Is it rated M for mature?
Yes.
Okay, I think. Okay. All right. It's first person. Fuck.
10 seconds.
Oh my God. Does it have? Can you drive vehicles in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Time is up. Okay. What is your guess of this character?
Okay. You got vehicles. It's first person, female protagonist. Oh boy. Okay. I can do this. First person? Oh dear. I'm gonna go with no, it's not. Well, it's not Joanna Dark. It's not perfect. It's not Joanna Dark, right? It's not a thing. Okay.
It's not Joanna Dark.
Okay.
It's Cortana. She's technically a protagonist. So, when Halo was released within the last 5 years, so you drive in it, and it's a first-person shooter.
Take us home.
Oh, what a show. Anyway, on behalf of Foxxy Steve, I am iChrisPanda. And
I was gonna ask if they were human, because Cortana's not fucking
she's
human.
AI. If you have any more suggestions or topics, please leave us a comment in our comment section of our YouTube page, or add us on Twitter. That's sfxxPLAY on twitter.com. And of course, be sure to follow us there. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe here on YouTube. And of course, give us a positive rating on every podcast platform you can. And follow the podcast there so you can be notified when we produce another podcast for you. So, without any further ado, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week on another episode of Jump In, Play More. Adios.